Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Davinder and I'm your finance mentor. In this session, we are going to discuss the current financial health of the India's financial system and India's, we can say, financial health, right? Considering what is the war scenario right now that we are facing in, we can say, in Iran or Israel, right? Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I just want a confirmation from you that everything is fine. Okay, right. It's fine now. Yes. Okay. Okay. So we are starting with the financial health. Before we get into the PPT, I just want to discuss, I can say the current scenario, what exactly is happening between the Iran and Israel and from where the situation all started. And then we will see what is the impact of the Indian economy and what exactly we are dependent upon them. Right. So yes, we are dependent upon them for the oils import. But what about other things? Is there any other thing that we are dependent upon them? So we will talk about that and we will have numbers according to that as well. And do we have any buffers so that we can deal with the upcoming circumstances that could be uncertain in situation, right? So we are going to discuss that also. Let's just begin that what exactly is happening. So basically in early 2026, there was a military conflict between the US, Israel and the Iran because the US and the Israel both were doubting that the Iran is in, we can say, nuclear weapon, we can say creation, right? They are creating such a program wherein they are creating nuclear weapon, right? And because Iran and Israel see themselves as a serious threat, and that is the reason the Iran or we can say the Israel and USA want to stop Iran from developing such nuclear weapons, long range missiles, and so on and so forth, right? So basically, they want to stop this particular program and they want to, ensure that there is everything is peaceful in terms of energy. Okay. So when the collapse happened between the nuclear diplomacy. So see, in 2015, there was a agreement that was signed by majority of the countries, say US, UK, France, Germany, Russia, China, and Iran. These all signed a agreement stating that we are going to reduce the uranium enrichment. We will try not to make any further nuclear research, right? That means research will not happen. So nuclear programs and nuclear missiles will also not be created by these many countries, and that will allow international inspections of the nuclear sites. That means this US can see a inspection of Iran's nuclear site whether they are creating or not, right? So this is a agreement that was signed in 2015, but then US withdraw from this particular agreement saying that we think that the participants, specifically the Iran, is not very serious about this agreement, and they are not they have weak, we can say, agreement on this particular contract, and hence I am getting out of this agreement. So basically Iran agreed. However, the US keep the sanctions on. So see, I want to explain you one thing, that when uh, when US agrees to be a part of such agreement, so US promised that they will not put any more sanctions on Iran. Sanctions means basically restrictions on Iran, basically where they can export the oil, who can buy oil from them, and so on and so forth. Now, oil is one of the major, we can say, economies, major way of economies revenue, right? And that is from where they earn their largest revenue. And hence, US was sanctioning them or putting a lot of restrictions on them. By signing this agreement, they promised that they will remove all these restrictions. But after getting out this, after uh, we can say rejecting to be a part of this agreement, they again applied sanctioned on Iran. And hence again the we can say the diplomacy breakdown here, and US and Iran again get into this we can say controversy of not we can say to be a we can say as a global economy they are not dealing with each other on a good circumstances, right? So war is increasing the global uncertainty. This is the major reason that why many of the other economies as well are facing these kind of issues. Any kind of war brings uncertainty in the economy where it is happening and at the global economy as well, because you don't know why exactly this war is happening, right? There is a lot of we can say hidden reasons that could be there because of which this war is happening. Another reason is how long this war will happen. Because of these two reasons, the we can say there is a lot of uncertainty at a global level, also at we can say especially in India as well, because India is again one of the we can say major importer of oil from this particular area, that is West Asia, right? So this Iran and Israel conflict threatens the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the port where we can call it as a global port where actual we can say the goods are being transported. So this particular port is being we can say because of the threat this particular port is being closed as of now on a temporary basis, due to which the global oil is not we can say getting exported or imported by any of the country. Along with this, our Indian exporters are not even able to do export of goods and services using this particular port. So this is disrupting the overall global trade and pushes the oil prices up. See, as as any good becomes limited, or we can say is sacred in nature, or we can say very limited in nature, this becomes we can say with the increase in the demand of prices, or we can say in the increase of the demand of this oil, the prices of oil increases, right? And this can also increase our current account deficit, right? Even if we import less oil because of the price push, because of price push of oil, our import bills could reach high prices, or can say high values, and hence it has a direct impact on our CAD, that is current account deficit. Okay, so what is Indian economy dependency on this particular area, that is West Asia? We already know that 85 to 90% of our oil is coming from West Asian, majorly from Russia. We are also dependent upon these particular area, that is West Asia, depending based on the FDI, FPI and remittances that we are getting from this particular region. So UAE, that is through from Dubai, this provide 80% of our FDI in India, right? And it is also home to over 40% of India's living in region and sent about 19 percentage of the Indian remittances. So see, with this with this uncertainty, the FDI may get hampered, because we are dependent upon the FDI as well. And somehow this boosts our economy and its GDP too. It provides employment as well. But because we have a lot of uncertainty at this particular area, their investments, basically their foreign investment, will get reduced over the period of time, and this will also impact the FDI they were investing in India. As we know that 80% of the FDI is coming from this particular region, right? And 40% of the, we can say, Indians are living in this particular region, that is West Asia, and they are giving remittances. They are sending remittances to India, 19 percentage of their total remittances that we are getting from there. So we can understand this with the help of this chart as well. So UAE is source of fifth of the remittances. That means if we talk about the year 2024, 19.2 percentage of the total India's inward remittances is coming from UAE. Just like that, from Saudi Arabia, 6.7 percentage, from Kuwait, 3.9 percentage, from Qatar, 4.1 percentage, Oman, 2.5, and Bahrain, 1.5. So in total, they are giving us 37.9 percentage of the remittances, which is again huge because of the market uncertainty and because of the uncertainty at the global level as well. No one wants to, or not a single individual want to, we can say, let go of money, because they are going to save their money for uncertain situation, right? So due to this, the FDI, their investment will fall. Many of the people who have invested their money in our stock market from this particular region will also take out their money and book their profit from our Indian stock market. And you can see in the news as well that NSE have crashed recently, right? Along with this, the remittances will be less. Okay, 4% of the FDI, 4% of the FDI comes from the Gulf cities. That is FDI equity inflows from West Asia to India. Share in FDI inflows from West Asia in terms of percentage. 80.78 percentage is coming from UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, and others, right? And if you talk about this, 28% of the overseas Indians live in West Asia. So we can see that country-wise India diaspora in West Asia. We can see as the percentage, these 28 percentage has been divided in this particular pie chart. So 40% are living in Dubai, 28 in Saudi Arabia, and so on and so forth. You can see that majorly remittances are coming from the Dubai, and they are sending us remittances in India for the people who are living in India, or they are either simply depositing their money with the Indian banking system. Apart from this, we are also giving some export, we are also getting some import from this particular region, right? India's import fell from 30% to 20.24 percentage in financial year 26. So basically, our Indian economy have reduced their import over the period of time from 30% to 20.24 percentage in financial year 26. They have achieved this particular import. That means they are making themselves less dependent on the West Asian region. However, this is still huge. However, this percentage is still huge. Apart from this, India also export some goods or services to West Asian region. Specifically after the pandemic, our Indian exports to this particular region have increased. As you can see in the chart as well, during after we can say COVID-19, after pandemic, our imports have increased, right? So we can say we have worked on our export, and we can say after this uncertainty, our business might get impacted because there would be less import from say Iran or from West Asian region from now onwards. Problem that India might face or is facing right now. So, first of all, the first problem that we are currently facing is that FPI is taking out their money. FPIs are taking out their money from the Indian stock market. Over 22 billion of shares have been sold by foreign investors in India, all because of the global uncertainty. The BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange Sensex, also fall by 1.7 percentage in one single day. Apart from this, because of the CAD increase in future, will put pressure on the government reserves and profits, right? So oil companies might not increase fuel prices immediately, but the government may have to reduce the taxes and give subsidies to the exporters, or sorry, to the importers, right? Also, to cover up the CAD, there would be a pressure on the upcoming period in future specifically. This will create a future burden on India. Apart from this, I want to also discuss few things. What else? Because of the prices, right? Because of the price increase in oil, we will be buying oil from say some other country, say from US, because of which we need to demand some dollars. And with the increase in the demand of dollars, with the increase in the demand of dollars, our rupee will depreciate. Our rupee will depreciate. That means we have to pay more money to buy dollars. So we have pressure on rupee exchange as well. We talked about CAD and we are also discussing about the rupee exchange. We have also discussed about the rupee exchange. Now what buffers India have right now? So India still have a strong foreign reserves of 728 billion as of now as per the RBI's report. However, as the rupee weakens, this is going to, we can say, put pressure on the foreign reserve as well. Long-term energy contract. Our India have signed some long-term energy contract with say uh, Qatar, UAE, US, Russia for the oil and LNG supply. And that is going to save India from getting, we can say, less or limited oil or LNG. So this has saved India from the upcoming uncertain situation. Strong service sector. Apart from this, yes, we know that our exports are going to suffer because of the West Asian issue, but still our exports are being supported majorly by the service sector. Our service sector is being diverse across various countries and not just to this particular West Asian region. That is the reason our Indian economy can rely on this particular sector and ensures that our export won't be get impacted heavily or badly. Strategic petroleum reserves. India will also work or is working on the underground reserves, which is in Vishakhapatnam, Mangaluru, and Padur. These reserves will supply oil for some time if employees are being disrupted because of the war-like situation. Another thing that India can do at this point of time is shift to the renewable energy. Many of the sectors are relying on the transportation, but these transportations are again being done using oil or petrol. We can shift to the renewable energy transportation wherein EV vehicles are used for transportation of goods. Apart from this, they can rely on building some technology using the renewable energy that will help run their factories or companies. So that will ultimately reduce the demand for oil, right? Then we have internationalization of rupee. As we know that we have a lot of pressure on the rupee exchange. But if we exchange rupee or we settle the payment, that is your, if we pay foreign bills in rupee only, our rupee will suffer less, right? So instead of paying the bill in dollars, why don't we just pay our bills in rupee? That is going to save us from the foreign exchange risk, right? So we should work on the internationalization of the rupee. That is going to help India at this uncertain situation, wherein the overall global economy is not following the, we can say, uh, the peaceful situation. It is not under the peaceful situation. It is not following the, we can say, the rules of Adam Smith, or we can say the father of finance at this point of time. The Adam Smith uh, gave, it has been, we can say, 250 years when Adam Smith gave this rules of finance, right? Say in 1776 maybe, they have introduced the, we can say, how the economy should run, right? What should economy do? Such kind of rules were given by Adam Smith, right? Now it is 2026 and it has been more than 250 years where all such rules are being still followed by many of the economists, such as we should import whatever is cheap for us. We should create things or make things domestically which are costly. We should avoid the situation of monopoly in the economy, right? Such situations or such, we can say, rules, or we can say thumb rule were given by Adam Smith at that point of time. But a global economy is not running as per these rules, right? Because the global economy is have some situation like war, right? So we were discussing about many of the things that India might face and what India is doing, or some kind of initiative that India have taken in order to support any sector. So yes, India is working, or we can say the CBIC, that is Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, have introduced their first ever initiative for the exporters, wherein they are being provided with the back to town facility. Because as I told you, the global port is being closed temporarily, wherein because of which the oil import and export is not being traded, and actually the global trade is being getting disrupted because of this port getting closed, right? So many of the goods that were exported by our Indian exporters were returning back to India. So that was creating a lot of problem for the exporters, right? Because once the export, or once the goods has been exported or leave the port, right? Once they have left the port, the goods are considered to be exported. But again, this was creating a lot of issue because not one, not two, many of the exporters were getting their exported goods back to the port, and hence the goods can be returned with this facility from the port back to the exporter's warehouse or factory. Because ships carry export goods from India had to return back to Indian port after Strait Hormuzgan was closed due to geopolitical tension. This is one of the port, or we can say one of the important global shipping routes, especially for trade and oil. When it gets closed, many of the ships couldn't continue with their journey and had to return midway. So with this new, we can say circular that is being released by the CBIC, returned export can be handled quickly, easily at the Indian port only, and the rule is being changed in the Custom Act 1962, and this is a temporary rule that is there for 15 days. If the ship if the ship is not have not crossed the Indian territorial waters, we can consider that they can be returned from the port and will be accepted as a return because they haven't reached or visit the foreign port at all. At this time, at this point of time, the ship captain can simply return a declaration that they haven't visited the, we can say, foreign port at all. With this situation, they have to give all the information to the RBI and Directorate General of Foreign Trade in order to inform, in order to send the information regarding the foreign exchange so that they can see the real impact or real account over the goods being exported or returned back. So custom office, or we can say the custom officers, will ensure that the goods are being sealed and they are not broken, or we can say the containers are sealed as they were and they are not broken. This will ensure that there is no, we can say, uh, money laundering as well, and no, we can say, smuggling of goods. So these two things are also being ensured with this new rule of, or we can say, new facility to exporters. So with this, I have just added one more question here for the descriptive part of your examination. I just want all of you to write a answer based on whatever we have discussed so far. You can write a appropriate 10 to 15 marker answer on this. Okay. Apart from this, we are also offering the RBI Grade B course currently with the, we can say, discount that is 7,799, and you can avail this offer by contacting our sales team, right? Apart from this, there is a regulatory body super pack again discounted for all of you. If you want to access, you can again access and call our, we can say, your our sales team, and you can get the course at 9,799. If you are completely catering to the course, or we can say completely targeting a single course, say RBI Grade B only then you can buy this course. Otherwise, if you are targeting any other regulatory body apart from RBI Grade B as well, then you can go for the next one course. With this, we are done with the session. I'll drop the Telegram link for the Telegram group wherein you will provided with all the PDFs that are there. I have discussed in the past as well and today's PDF as well. Okay, so make sure that you are joining that and so that you can access the PDFs. Goodbye everyone. In case you have any doubt, tell me in the comment section so that we can deal with the your doubt in a fast way. Right. Goodbye everyone. Take care of yourself and best of luck.